Testing. Can you hear me up there in the back? Let's take a seat. We're going to start the meeting very shortly. Can you hear me back there? We will now open the town meeting. I'll have the town clerk read the warrant for the special town meeting.
Warrant for the special town meeting Monday, October 27, 2014. To either the constables in the town of Freetown, greeting. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Freetown who are qualified to vote in town affairs to meet in the Freetown Elementary School Auditorium, 43 Bullock Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts, the 27th day of October 2014 at 7:00 p.m. then and there to act on the following articles. And you are hereby directed to serve this warrant by posting attested copies thereof at the following places: Assonet Post Office, East Freetown Post Office, the stores of Quick Pick in East Freetown, Junior's Convenience Store and Freetown Town Hall, and the Freetown Communications Center. Hereof and fail not, and make return of the original warrant with your doings thereon immediately after making service thereof to the town clerk of the town of Freetown, Massachusetts. Given under our hands and seal of the town of Freetown, this 9th day of October, Anno Domini 2014, signed by the Freetown Board of Selectmen. To the town clerk, Town of Freetown, Massachusetts, October 10, 2014. I have this day posted attested copies of this warrant in the designated places described herein. Signed, Carlton E. Abbott, Jr., Constable.
A couple of things. Number one is that the articles tonight will be funded by free cash unless otherwise specified. After each article, I'll ask the recommendation from the Board of Selectmen and also the Finance Committee, and then request a motion to accept the articles. Article 1, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds a sum of $9,500 for the purchase of a new 2,000-gallon tanker truck for the fire department. Such amount representing the town's share of the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant and/or take any action relative thereto, submitted by the fire chief, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
Recommends.
Move to adopt the article as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 1 as read. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 1 is carried. Articles 2. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds the sums of $5,398.95 to pay outstanding bills from a prior fiscal year and/or take any action relative thereto, submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a 9/10 vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
Recommends.
Move to adopt the article as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 2 is read. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 9 vote. I'll declare a 9/10 vote. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds a sum of $30,000.00 to purchase and install 5 structures for various parks throughout the town and/or take relative action thereto. Submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
Recommends.
Move to adopt the article as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 3 as read. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 3 is adopted. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds a sum of $25,000 to repair and maintain town-owned buildings, grounds, and vehicles, and/or take any action relative thereto, submitted by the town administrator, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
Recommends. Motion
Move
made
to
to be
accept the
adopted as
article
read.
as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 4 is read. On the question? All in favor? All opposed? So voted. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds the sum of $4,963.87 to purchase and install snowplow equipment for a newly acquired vehicle and/or take any action relative thereto. This was submitted by the highway surveyor. This requires a majority vote and not a 9/10 vote. Board of Selectmen,
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends.
Move to adopt the article as read.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 5 as read. On the question? All in favor? All opposed? Article 5 is adopted. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds a sum of $9,946.80 to reimburse to the town retire of a retroactive Medicare penalty assessment in accordance with Chapter 32, Section 18A, and/or take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Treasurer Collector, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen.
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends. Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 6 as read. On the question? All in favor? All opposed? Article 6 is adopted. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate and/or transfer from available funds the sum of $40,000 to fund the 10-year cyclical reinspection program as mandated by the Department of Revenue and/or take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Freetown Board of Selectmen, the Assessors, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen.
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends.
Move to adopt as read.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 7 as read. On the question? All in favor? All opposed? Article 7 is adopted. Article 8. This article was funded by taxation. To see if the town will vote to amend the omnibus budget as approved by the vote taken under Article 1 of the annual town meeting on June 16, 2014 as follows. And to raise and appropriate or transfer from available funds any required additional funding therefore and/or take any action relative thereto. Department 125, Personnel. As voted was $103,612, but there was a typo and it should have been $103,613. That will be corrected as follows: $97,813 from personnel, $5,800 from expenses, for a total of $103,613. Department 912, Workman's Comp. What needs to be done here is the expenses and the personnel need to be swapped. It was voted under the expenses, it needs to be under personnel. That number was $45,539. And 301, the assessment, needs to be broken down as follows. Assessment, $8,828,380. The debt is $208,943, for a total of $9,109,323. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen,
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends.
Move to adopt as read.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 8 as read. On the question.
Since there's money coming back, what part is it going into?
No, there's no money coming back, it's just an even transfer. It's just a housekeeping issue.
Looks to me there's a difference between $9.2 million and $9.1 million.
That left column was an error. That should not be put in there.
Right.
Those figures were in error.
That's why he didn't, right, he
That's
didn't
why
say
he-
that.
That
That
left,
first column should have been,
Should not have been there.
I should have defined that when I read the article.
Very well.
Thanks, Mr. Major.
Anything else on the question? All in favor? All opposed? Article 8 is adopted. Article 9, see if the town will vote to amend the vote taken under Article 1 of the annual town meeting on June 16, 2014, to adjust the following budgets and to raise and appropriate on a transfer from available funds any required additional funding therefore, or take any action relative thereto. Department 611, Library, $200 for longevity not budgeted. Department 292, ACO, $516 for salary increase not budgeted. Department 912, liability insurance, $7,600 to purchase additional IOD insurance. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen,
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 9 is read. On the question, all in favor? All opposed? So voted. Article 10.
Move to waive the reading of Article.
The Board of Selectmen makes a motion to withdraw this article.
The Board of Selectmen made a motion to withdraw this article,
Second.
and it's seconded. On the question,
Can you give us an explanation of why you're withdrawing it?
I can.
Davis Dean, 38 North Main Street.
The reason why we're withdrawing it at this time, it just needs to be cleaned up a little. There were some interferences with salary, also some wording changes, and it would be too confusing to keep making a motion to amend the article as proposed, so we think it's better that we bring it back another time. Thank you.
is there anything else on the question? Hearing none, all in favor? All opposed? Article 10 is withdrawn. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into a renewable energy power purchase and or net metering credit purchase agreement, including an agreement for power and credits generated by solar photovoltaic system for terms of up to 30 years on such terms and conditions as the Board of Selectmen deems in the best interest of the town, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to take all action necessary to implement and administer such agreement, and or take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
Recommends.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 11 is read. On the question,
Davis Dean, 38 North Main Street. Who were these agreements being made with, or where, I gather this is probably solar power. Who are the providers? Is it a local operation tied in with the systems that are in the town, or is this a national conglomerate?
This is moderated. The town has drafted a proposed agreement subject to favorable action on this article with Borrego Solar. This project is under construction at 27 Locust Street here in town, and about half the power will benefit the town in that we'll see net energy credits on our electric bills as a result of this arrangement. The estimated savings initially, based on the current rates, not the increased rates that you all know are coming from Engrid and NSTAR in the not-too-distant future. The estimated savings now, based on the existing rates, is in the neighborhood of $16,000, $17,000 a year. And it'll accrue to all of the town buildings, including the elementary school we're meeting in. The savings will actually increase with the increase in the rates. So this is a substantial savings to the town. in excess of $750,000 over the life of the project, and will benefit us all. So, are there any other further questions?
Did this solar developer project receive any tax benefits from this transaction?
No. There was to be a proposed pilot article on this town meeting warrant if that proposed article was withdrawn.
Switch it off, Bob.
My name is Robert Raymond, 7 County Drive. I had submitted to the town administrator an article related to Wareham and a solar deal that they got into. And at this time, I'm asking if it's a related arrangement. It's a similar arrangement that Freetown is looking at. And one of the things stated in that article was that at a certain point, Wareham was, it was going to start to work in reverse, and it wasn't going to work out in the long run. And I would ask if you looked at that and what
Yes,
what the
no.
comparison is. Thank you.
No, it's not the same type of arrangement.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? All opposed? Article 11 is adopted. Article 12.
Mary Brown, Freetown Historical Commission Chairperson. The Freetown Historical Commission would like to withdraw the article.
Is there a motion? Yes. Motion made and seconded to withdraw Article 12. On the question? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Article 12 is withdrawn. Article 13. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to acquire by gift purchase or by eminent domain, permanent or temporary easements to use for all purposes for which public ways are used in the town of Freetown, certain portion or portions of the parcel of land located at 24 Alexandra Drive, adjacent to Ridge Hill Road, which portions are approximately shown on a plan entitled Ridge Hill Road, Freetown, Massachusetts, prepared by Kelly Engineering Group, Inc., a copy of which is on file with the town clerk and/or take any action relative thereto. This was submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. One thing I want to make note is in the explanation on the second line, it says, after Republic Services, it says gain, that should be again. Board of Selectmen,
Board of Selectmen recommends.
Finance Committee,
Recommends.
Move to adopt as read.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 13 as read. On the question.
Is this on? Yes, it is. The address 24 Alexandra Drive implies that there's a residence there. Is there in fact a residence on that property?
No, this is a vacant lot with an address at 24 Alexander Drive, which has frontage that goes from Alexander Drive to South Main Street on Ridge Road.
There's a reference to a plan by Kelly Engineering. It's a subdivision plan, no doubt. And I wondered if there was a copy of that, and if the...
Yes, there is.
Is there a lot number specified for this particular piece?
Yes. This is the plan that's in the handout that you received on further explanation information. It has a copy of that plan.
Actually, the plan that I'm referring to is the actual subdivision plan that created this lot. And my concern is that, given that there's no residence there, in essence, can't be a number 24 Alexander Court, Alexander Drive. There's a lot specified in the deed for that property, referring to a lot in the on the subdivision plan for that particular piece of land. I would just request that that lot be specified in the motion, or in the article. I'm looking for a reference to it on this plan, and I don't see it, and I believe it was, that subdivision plan is not done by Mackenzie. Which doesn't, this plan is all well and good, except that,
Mr. Myron?
you're looking to take a portion of a piece of land on a plan that subdivided this property, and this would be a cleaner legal document to
Mr.
refer to the
Myron?
lot.
Bob, the taking of the easement has already been accomplished. That is the acquisition of the easement by Republic Services. This article is to accept that easement so that the selectmen as road commissioners can then turn around and authorize Republic to construct at their cost the improvements to this intersection. So the acquisition of the easement has already taken place.
Okay, I didn't understand that that had been done, that was
Yeah, right.
recorded, et cetera.
Yeah, this
So-
is
So the reference is to the
to
piece,
acceptance
the
of the
portion of
easement.
this. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
There's been an offer of gift of that easement to the town by Republic, and what we're doing here tonight is accepting that easement, and then the selectmen will authorize them to do the work.
Okay, are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Article 13 is adopted. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to file an application with the Interagency Permitting Board for the designation of land located at 0 Route 24, Innovative Way, map 236, parcel 6.01, as a priority development site, and to take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
No recommendation. Motion made to accept as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt 13 as read. On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 14 is adopted. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to file an application with the Interagency Permitting Board for the designation of land located at 0 Route 24, Innovative Way, map 236, parcel 6, as a priority development site, and to take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
No recommendation. Motion made to accept it as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 15 as read. On the question?
David Speed, 38 North Main Street. Is there anything in your minds of what you're going, what proposed use you have for this property?
We've been working with the city of Fall River and working really hard to promote economic growth and development in that area. You'll see several more articles along the way that will help us attract good business. We are negotiating right now with someone that I can't really comment further on, but it looks good for us. This is just, a 43D is just an expedited permitting, so it doesn't bypass any permitting within the town. What it does is just allows us 180 days to do expedited permitting. And it's really truly a marketing tool, and you know, once we turn that around, we have to turn it over to the state, and they will then approve this. So this is the first step in that process.
Not looking at a casino or anything, right?
No, promise you. In this area right here.
Say again?
Are there
In
any
this
other,
area right here.
are there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 15 is adopted. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to insert the following new article as Article 3.8 of the Town of Freetown General and Zoning Bylaws. 3.8, Bylaw Article Submission. The town clerk is authorized to assign appropriate numbers to bylaw sections, subsections, paragraphs, and subparagraphs, where none are approved by town meeting. and if such are approved by town meeting after consultation with the Board of Selectmen, to make non-substantive editorial revisions to ensure consistent and appropriate sequencing and numbering, provided that such editorial revisions, such as identified by a footnote or other convention, and or take any other action relative thereto, submitted by the town clerk, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen,
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
No recommendation.
Move to adopt as read.
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 16 is read. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 16 is adopted. Article 17,
Mr. Moderator, the Board of Selectmen recommends, makes a motion to pass over this article.
Second.
motion made and seconded to pass over Article 17. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 17 is passed. Article 18, see if the town will vote to delete from the town of Freetown general bylaws in its entirety Article 18 cat licensing control regulations, and further to delete in its entirety the existing Article 17 dog licensing control and regulations, and replace therewith a new Article 17 animal control as on file in the office of the town clerk, and to further amend the town of Freetown general and zoning bylaws table of contents to reflect such changes. All non-substantive changes of the numbering of this bylaws shall be permitted in order that the numbering shall be in compliance with the general numbering format and take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the animal control officers, requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen,
Recommends.
Finance Committee,
No recommendation. Motion made to accept it as read.
motion made and seconded to adopt Article 18 as read. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Article 18 is adopted. Article 19, see if the town will vote to amend the town of Freetown protected bylaws, Article 11 zoning bylaws, by adding section 11.30 Science and Technology Overlay District, and text of which is on file in the office of the town clerk. Further, to amend the town of Freetown zoning map by adding the proposed Science and Technology Overlay District dated September 18, 2014, as on file in the office of the town clerk. Further, to amend the town of Freetown protected bylaws, Article 11, zoning bylaws outline, to include this new section 11.30, and further that non-substantive changes to the numbering of this bylaw be permitted in order that it be in compliance with the numbering format and or take any action relative thereto. Submitted by the Board of Selectmen, requires a 2/3 vote.
Mr. Moderator, the Board of Selectmen would like to amend this article.
But we need a main motion on this first, okay?
Motion made to adopt as read. Second.
A motion made and seconded to adopt Article 19 as read. Okay.
The Board of Selectmen wants to amend this article to include on 11.30 Science and Technology Overlay District, Section E, allowed uses. We propose adding number 13, allowed use as distribution.
Right. Okay, you heard the amendment? Second. Okay, we'll move on the motion. At this time, I'd like to have the planning board give their recommendation.
Planning board held a hearing on this article, reviewed the language of it, and found no cause to make any changes. Planning board recommends.
Okay, at this time, we will vote on anything on the amendment.
What is number 13?
Number 13 would add distribution. Where there is warehousing in there, and it becomes cleaner. Although you know that a warehouse is going to distribute, we just want to make sure that it's a little bit cleaner. So we're adding number 13 as in distribution. So the allowed uses would be office of any kind, educational, manufacturing, assembly, packaging, industrial research and development, biotechnology, processing, fabrication, warehousing, wholesaling, public or commercial parking lot, and number 13 would be distribution. It is an allowed use in the table of uses. It is set in there, but we want to make sure it's a little bit cleaner and understood by all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other question on the amendment? We'll vote on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the made motion. On the amendment, All in favor? All opposed? The amendment passed. Now we'll vote on the Article 19 as amended. This requires a 2/3 vote. All in favor? All opposed? Declare a 2/3 vote and declare unanimous. Okay. Article 20. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to file an application with the Interagency Permitting Board for the designation of land located at 170 South Main Street, map 233, parcel 30, as a priority development site, and or take any action relative thereto, submitted by the Board of Selectmen. Requires a majority vote. Board of Selectmen?
Recommends.
Finance Committee?
No recommendation.
Make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt Article 20 as read. On the question. All in favor? All opposed? Article 20 is adopted.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? We are adjourned.